Hello, welcome to another Q&A. I'm really keen to get this YouTube off the ground and get a lot more subscribers and a lot more activity. So pretty much as soon as you send me some questions, I'm going to take that opportunity to answer them pretty much, just for more content and a bit more user interaction. Something I was doing at the start of the channel that seemed to be getting quite a bit of traction. And since I've been doing it, the channel's kind of been languishing a bit. So it's another email from John. So he's got a couple of questions about the Russian squat routine that he's running. First question is, what is the best way to use it for powerlifting? A few times a year to improve a lying lift, or you can repeat several cycles of it in a row. The Russian squat routine is basically just a 9-week. Or if you use the 3-day-a-week version, it's a 6-week program that has a 3-week front end as volume accumulation. So that's when you go from 6.3s, 6.2s, 6.4s, 6.2s, 6.5s, 6.2s, 6.6s, 6.2s. That's taking an 80% weight, and from the 6.3 workout onwards, just add in reps. So the first workout is an 18 rep workout. And on the last workout, the 6.6 is a 36 rep workout at 80%. Anyone who's realized that cycle with an 80% load will appreciate the 6.5 and the 6.6 workouts are probably the two toughest workouts on that program. 6.6 reps in particular. And it's a program I ran a few times in 2013, and the ran a beltless version, which went fairly well. My working weight with that was like 180, and then I ran a belted version towards the back end or towards the middle end of the year, my first competition. My 6.6's workout with that was 200, and that's probably the hardest workout I've ever done. And I've done some fucking stupid workouts, but it was a good workout. I made all my sets and my reps, but I was literally within a kilo of what was possible physically for that sets and rep scheme at that time. I personally find the program to be great. I've never had anything but success from using it or using it with other people. The Russian Squat Masters is my personal preference, just because it's a 2-day-a-week program. I think it's a bit easier to do that and still be able to deadlift. Something I think you might struggle with on the 3-day-a-week version. I've seen the 3-day-a-week version kind of fall out for some people, just because they weren't prepared or they hadn't had the muscular conditioning or the training history to be able to complete it. Well, I've never seen anyone fail the 2-day-a-week program unless they started with a max that was too heavy for them. So the best way to use it for powerlifting, I reckon, would be to take the 2-day-a-week version. So it's a 9-week routine, and I would just take the volume accumulation. So that's everything up to the 6.6's workout, and just run that cyclically over and over again. So you might take it for squat and bench. For deadlift, like that's questionable whether it works for deadlift. Certainly, I haven't seen anyone run it for deadlift with great success. So I certainly would run it for bench, run it for squat, run the volume accumulation, and just cycle that. And I would start with maybe a 15 kilo light max or a 10 kilo light max, maybe 15, and then each cycle just add 5 or 10 kilos onto that number. Just keep rerunning the numbers. I don't think you would run into too many problems with that kind of approach. I know I have a friend who's done the squat portion, just run the volume cycle of the Russian squat routine, so the 3-day-a-week version. He did that for 3 to 4 cycles and put like 30-40 kilos on his max quite easily. So it certainly was successful for him. For deadlift, I'd be tempted to just look at it differently, and maybe as a content for another video. But deadlift doesn't tend to react because it's not concentric, eccentric. So I reckon the mechanisms of deadlift strength are different than normal, or certainly outside of the normal way you might look at a concentric, eccentric, or eccentric concentric action such as a squat or a bench. Certainly one I would like to talk about further at some stage. Yeah, so that's the best way to run in powerlifting, would be to run the volume accumulation phase for squat and bench, probably two time a week version, and then when you want it to come to a meet, just slap on the end of it, so the 5 5s, 4 4s, 3 3s, 2 2s, and then the single can be meet day. You go out and hit some PBs. Okay, so that's the best way to do it for powerlifting. If you do several cycles of it, sorry, this is another question. If you do several cycles of it, would you do the 100% 2x2 or the 105% session, or skip them to reduce the risk of injury related with max percentages, lifts, just increase the working weight by 5 kg? So I've kind of already covered that. My response to that would be, I would just look to run the volume phase of it. So the volume phase is the ones that actually gets the strength gain. The 5 5s, 4 4s, 3 3s, 2 2s is just a peaking cycle, so it's just linear increase in intensity. So you can you prepping yourself for that 1 RM lift, because if you stay within an 80% range, 90% plus lifting, and you're not optimized for that, because it's almost a different skill lifting 90% plus. The coordination required, the mental preparation required, and the actual way you move with the weight is different than how you work with. You can move the sub-maximal weights. So it's basically just a preparation cycle to realize the work that you've done in the volume phase. So I would just stick to the volume phase, because that's the bit that's actually doing the work. I wouldn't worry about where your max is at. You don't need to test a new max. You know if you completed the volume, you're stronger, so you can just bump up the weight and rerun it. And that's pretty much how all periodization works. There's no real need for testing maxes as long as you're completing workloads to a decent standard. You can just up the workload and go again. Another question: how would you go from one Russian squat routine cycle directly to the next? Or would you take easy days before we're starting? I'd just go straight into it. I wouldn't, no point messing around. Do the 6x6, as soon as I've done that 6x6 workout, so if you're doing the 3 day a week version, when you get the 6 5s week, 6 2s week, and the 6 6s week, I'd just jump on the next cycle. Because the next cycle is going to be your 6 2, 6 3, 6 2, so it's an easy week anyway on the program. Or 6 3s the first week, then 6 2, 6 4s is still an easy workout. That would be incorrect though, wasn't it? It would be, no, that'd be correct. 6 3, 6 2s, and 6 4s would be the first week. So yeah, I would just do that. If you run like a 3 week kind of cycle, and you're going to run into the 5 5s workout, so the 5 sets of 5 at 85% RM, that's still volume accumulation, although it's coming into the peaking phase, if you would. But it's just the start of it. So that's how I would just run them back to back, just keep going. And I deliberately think the key is to start light, because if you start light, you're going to build up momentum into the workouts. I would maybe caution running the 3 day a week version back to back on the volume accumulation, just because you're constantly, it's three times a week with like a volume overload constantly. Some people will manage it, some people won't. It depends on how your tolerance to training is like. As a person, some people get away with a huge training volume, some people can't get away with a huge training volume. So it just depends on how you react to training. Some people, 1 day is enough for them. Like older people are people who are used to training like one set, like a rep out. Like if you went from 5-3-1, so effectively one working set, into a training cycle like that, guaranteed problems. If you went from 5-3-1 to 2 days a week on the Russian squat masters, then you're okay. If you went for 2 weeks, 2 days a week on a Russian squat routine or a volume accumulation routine onto a 3 day a week volume accumulation routine, you'll be fine. If you went from a 5 day a week volume accumulation routine to 3 day volume, if you went from small up to this, you'd be fine. Probably a good idea. Running back to back small love, that's maybe not such a good idea. Yeah, so I wouldn't bother with easy days. It's built into the program. That's what the 6-2s are for. Just run them back to back. And if you start getting problems like niggles, like tendonitis or anything like that, just box smart and stop or reduce your volume. Finally, what are your thoughts on using the 1974 Russian routine? So it's provided a URL, and it's for powerlifting. Basically, it's a 3 day a week It's 3-week cycles. It's got a moderate day, a heavy day, and an easy day. So I'll just read it out quickly as we go. Week 1, workout 1 is 4 sets of 5 at 75% RM. Workout 2 is 5 sets of 5 at 85% RM. 4 sets of 3 at 60% RM on Friday or the third day. Week 2 is 3 sets of 5 at 80%. Week 2, or workout 2 is 6 sets of 5 at 85%. And session 3, week 2 is 4 sets of 3 at 60%. That workout stays the same, so I'm not going to repeat that. Week 3 is session 1 is 4 threes at 75%. Week 2 is 3 threes at 85%, and then 4 threes at 60%. I'm just going to do a real quick sum. Just have a look at the average intensity. So intensity stays the same, 75. Or they step up a little bit in the second week. So plus 60 divided by 3. So average intensity of week 1 is 73%. Average intensity is 75%, and then the average intensity of week 3 will be 72% again. Yeah, so it basically just the same sort of principle. You're accumulating 1 set at 85% on week 2, so that's like your overload week, and then week 3 is like a down week. And yeah, it's a pretty standard program. It will work because it's laid out fairly sensibly, and it's just ran as like this recommends that you run a max afterwards and then rerun the program. Again, if you're going to run this, I would look to do it as like I said, just cyclically. This is something you could definitely run for bench and squat, I would imagine, with a reasonable amount of success. For deadlift as well, you could probably get some success out of this as well, because there's some speed work and there's lots of volume. With the deadlift though, I'd be tempted to say you'd only run workout 2, so the 5 5s, the 6 5s, and the 3 3s 85%, and look at the 60% workout as like a speed day. So you could run the deadlift heavy on workout 3 and do the speed work on workout 1, and that way it should fit together fairly nicely. That's always, I find, the main issue on putting together a cycle for powerlifting is where to fit deadlift, especially when you're running volume accumulation for all the lifts. It's a bit of a tricky one to get in. Yeah, so hopefully, Jean, that's answered all of your questions. Anyone, any questions, shoot them over to speedpowerperformance@gmail.com. You can find me at castironsstrength.com. You can find me on Facebook, search for Cast Iron Strength. You can find me on Twitter. I don't use it, so probably wouldn't bother. And of course on YouTube, my main haunt. And just leave a comment below and I'll get with answering. I've got another away game, so I'm going to be away till Sunday. So if I get any questions for then, I'll jump on and answer them. Okay, this is Mark, castironsstrength.com, signing off. Goodbye.